Hello and welcome to the Jolly Fellows podcast. This is the first one. It's an F1 themed podcast this week. It won't always be like a. It won't always be F1. There'll be. I personally am going to do a rugby one every once in a while. As I'm recording this right now, the Ireland have just beaten the All Blacks in the third test to win their first ever series over in New Zealand and against New Zealand, by that matter. But that's rugby. I'm not going to talk about that today. Excuse me. Today's just going to be me and Callum. We are going to be talking. Excuse me again. We're going to be talking about Formula One. Probably mainly talking about the last two races. We were meant to record this straight after Silverstone, but we didn't, and then we were meant to record it straight after Austria, but we didn't again. So we're recording this now, and we've got a couple of topics we're going to talk about. But I'll reel them off as we are talking. So yeah. I hope you enjoy. I'll see you guys soon. Peace. Hello and welcome to the Jolly Fellows podcast. Today is an F1 themed podcast with me, Billy, and Callum.
Yo.
Hello. We don't really know what we're doing. We've never done anything like this before. So apologies. Yeah. So apologies if it's a bit all over the place. We've got some like random topics we want to talk about. As I said, I recorded like a intro sort of thing. We'll talk a bit about Silverstone, Austria, and then any news that's come up in the F1 world since then. It's currently the 16th of, is it June? Or July? July. 16th of July, so there's no race this weekend. But we've got France next week.
They will not have a race next weekend then.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, France, the last 2 years was decent. From what I remember, it was decent. So everyone went into
Only
it
because the
saying...
battle. I won't go in it with high hopes.
No?
I think because it was Max chasing down Lewis last year on pressure tyres. It made it really interesting, and it was in the last few laps. So hopefully we can get something like that. But
did Max win it last year? Was it Lewis?
Yeah.
Right.
Max won last year. So I can't remember where he was in the championship at that point, but it was definitely.
Was France like the halfway point again last year?
Roughly, yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it was.
Because isn't it normally Hungary that's like the last one before the summer break?
Yeah, and Hungary's the next one, which is going to be the season break. So it's going to be double header for the next 2 weeks.
Sound.
And it should be straight on to.
Probably the last time ever at Spa, or the last time for a couple of years. Which will be. It's really upsetting. Like, I'm all for new tracks, but get rid of Qatar. Maybe keep Saudi. Yeah. I don't like Saudi just because of how dangerous the track looks.
I think Saudi's produced the best races of the past 2 seasons. To be honest, it's been so good.
But the only reason Saudi was good last year was because it was just chaos and all the crashes, and Max was driving like a twat. And I'm the biggest Max fan ever, and the last couple of races last year, Max was driving like a twat, especially at Saudi.
I think he was just trying to claim what was his because he's had so much bad luck. He could have had his championship seal, but because of different reasons, it all went wrong. So I thought he just had to do that. He had to if that didn't happen, he would have lost all confidence for Abu Dhabi. I think he didn't do all of that. So,
Do you think that though? Because Max is the type of person that, excuse me, it doesn't feel like he would lack confidence. Because after the Silverstone, didn't he have? Didn't he win the next race after Silverstone last year? After getting shunted into the wall at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
No, it was the one after Britain last year. It was, let me tell you.
Callum's like a little F1 encyclopedia.
It was, I believe, it was Hungary. Yeah, and we all know what happened
Oh, Ocon.
last year.
Ocon won that, didn't he?
Ocon won, and then
Did Max
Bottas
DNF, didn't
decided
he?
to play bowling. Yeah. No, he came seventh, I believe, because he was
Lewis was third, fourth. Who was
yeah,
it?
and
Ocon.
that was the race that Fernando held him up, and
That was so sick.
he was on the podium nearly fainting because
Yeah.
of how
Long COVID.
long. All right, he just got absolutely battered by his old teammate, didn't he? So he was a bit all over the shop. He didn't know what to do.
We've not really had one of them races this year, have we? It's just been
How do you mean?
chaos. I'm trying to think.
Silverstone, probably.
Silverstone's probably, yeah.
Well, not.
But Silverstone was really good
Probably not
because the
chaos.
racing was brilliant, not because there was a massive accident.
Yeah.
What? Sorry, Silverstone. There was the Guan Yu Zhou crash and the Alex Albon crash, but that was the first corner, so we didn't really get any racing. And after that, it was just fucking phenomenal racing for the rest of the.
After Ocon's safety card, that's what sprint races should be. What happened then? But I think the team's too scared to push it in the sprint races just because they're so scared of the cost cap and stuff like that. And if they're gonna do those sprint races, which I think they should, they need to raise the cost cap so then they can actually push in those races. Otherwise, it's just everybody stays in position and nobody pushes.
Well, look at this for a transition. Speaking of sprint races, we might as well talk about Austria because we had one. That was the second sprint race of the year?
Yeah.
Imola was the first, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Austria is a great track, but it's boring to watch. It's just DRS chains constantly.
It's my favourite track, just because of I think it was the first one I played on the game, and it was the first one I got good at, and it's always the first one I go to learn the new game. And it's fairly easy track, to be fair.
Yeah,
I think it is. I think it's the only one on the game that on difficulty it says very easy.
Yeah, I think so. And then you've got the one very hard, which is just Monaco.
What's Singapore? Singapore's hard.
I think it is very hard, but that's probably my favourite track. I'm very looking forward to seeing them race there. Never actually seen a live race.
Singapore.
Singapore
looks brilliant just because of the night race and the sparks everywhere. And I can't remember the last time I watched Singapore. It was probably the last one.
It's going to be crazy.
I think the last one I watched Singapore live and can remember was when Seb won, and he was in a Ferrari.
Yeah, it's kind of a specialist there. I think he's won 3 or 4 races.
Specialist there, but he'll get fucking 16th this year because he's in a boat.
Yeah, well, he's in a bad environment, isn't he? Really, he's not enjoying it.
Yeah, and he also had a terrible Austria.
I can't remember how he did in Austria.
He came last.
Oh.
He finished behind Nicholas Latifi.
Oh,
Latifi, they retired him because he's useless. I don't want to be mean to drivers because what if one day this takes off and we actually get some drivers on? We try and get someone on and they're like, remember back to episode 12 when you called me a cunt? A dosser.
Well, we're not going to have to worry because Latifi's not going to be in it much longer. So
Oh, that's me. Yeah, but he might go to another. It might go to another Formula or
E.
IndyCar, maybe. Yeah, and then it could be like, so how much different is Formula E to Formula One, and how much does your dad pay? And
Yeah, he's last in most races at the moment, which is
Giovinazzi.
poor. Yeah,
Oh, that's a shame. I don't really
the
watch Formula E.
team's not very good, but yeah, he's not doing the best.
Oh dear.
So I've just looked at Sebastian Vettel's won 5 Singapore races, which is
Is he?
just yes, 11, 12, 13, which you'd expect.
Yeah.
15 in the Ferrari and 19 in the Ferrari.
Nice.
But there is a bit of controversy in 2019, weren't they, about the Ferraris, and they were too fast, and I think they got done for cheating. Typical, but at least it gave Leclerc the first 2 victories, and then yeah, I think
That Crofty line.
yeah,
He wins in Spa and he wins in Monza. That's got to be like iconic. One of the most iconic Crofty
probably
lines.
property lines, yeah. Or Fugo with Hamilton's pretty much.
That is really good. That would be even better if you made the move stick. Because three corners later he got
He
overtaken.
lost both positions.
It's like, oh, fuck's sake. Right.
But he easily could have won that race. It was, well, yeah, he could have won that race, and in front of the home fans.
Yeah. As much as I'm a Max fan, I don't hate any driver on the grid. I did last year because of Mazepin. But I don't hate any driver on the grid.
Yeah.
And I am slightly biased towards Red Bull, say slightly. But I don't hate Lewis. Lewis is, for me, the best of all time.
Better than Schumi.
Yeah, for me, yeah. That's like the LeBron, Kobe, Jordan debate, isn't it? It's like different eras, but
It would have been amazing to see them race. Well, they did race together, but with both in the prime.
Yeah, when Schumi came back, he was a bit. It just wasn't the same.
He had elements like his pole in Monaco, what got taken away from him, and I think he only got 1 podium, which was in Valencia, the Spanish race that Fernando Alonso won, not Catalunya. Can't remember.
Valencia. It would have been the European Grand Prix, wouldn't it?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
And he got on the podium there. I think it was because there was a collision between Lewis and somebody in the last few laps. Probably Lewis and Nico, more than likely, in that time period. But yeah, and just on that as well, there's a Lewis has come out saying that they're only, I think it was Toto, they're only 3 tenths away now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Winning races, they think. So, to have 3 teams in it would be amazing.
Really fun. I can't see them. I can't see Lewis or George. They might win a race. Lewis will probably win Brazil just because that's what he does, and they'll find a rocket ship and stick it in the back of his car again like last year. But
yeah,
they're there or thereabouts in the constructors just because they don't DNF their durability, the cars just don't break. Reliability, that's it. They just don't break. I don't think they've DNF'd, have they?
George did, but
sorry, that was a crash. That was a crash.
George
That was a crash.
George should have carried on, but they put his. But obviously, wanted to check how good Joe was. He could have drove that back to the pits.
So they've not DNF'd for reliability, then, have they?
I don't believe so. I mean, the closest he got was the crash in Spain, but Lewis did pull some magic out after saying he wanted to retire.
Lewis wanted to, didn't he?
Yeah.
That was a phenomenal drive.
I don't know where he came. I think it did. I don't think
he got a podium.
Was it a podium? Okay.
What did he get?
Fair play. Let me have a look.
Right.
Spain. He got 5th, but behind Carlos and then George on the podium.
Right,
so,
yeah.
George is just going to be unbelievable in coming years, especially if he gets to the front.
Do you think Lewis will retire after this year?
If it keeps going the way it does,
Yeah.
I don't think. I think he'd have to win a race this year to stay.
He's won a race every year. He's raced, hasn't he?
Yeah, which is insane because he's been there since 2007.
He could have won it in 2007 as well, which is a shame.
That was a season where they couldn't even win the constructors as well because McLaren got
yeah, it was that
Spygate.
What is it, £95 million fine or something like that?
Yeah, he got banned from the constructors. Yeah.
The what was it? Was it Max Mosley or Charlie Whiting? He said it's like £5 million fine and then 90 million for Ron Dennis being a twat.
Probably, I would not be surprised.
It's such a good quote. That was on a WTF1 video, which they are the best F1 content, I feel. Just like light-hearted and just fun to watch, really. But we'll go back. We'll get back to Austria. So in the sprint race there, you were talking about the teams don't really push, but the Ferraris were like battling each other, and that's why Max just flew away from them. But then in the race, it's like they sort of worked together and they weren't pushing each other, and then they just flew away from Max.
Yes, it was. I mean, it was eventful. I do feel like they really like short. It feels like you're watching it for like 30 minutes, but I think it's an hour race when it comes to it. But
it is an hour, yeah.
I know.
Is it?
No, it's 26 minutes. The race, this one, and obviously they're handing out more points and stuff like that, which is good. But yeah, like you said, they were battling like nothing, and then I think Ferrari need to go in a direction now.
I think they need to tell. They need to say that Charles is the number one. If Carlos didn't DNF and actually got points, I think it would have been a lot harder for them to say that Charles is the number one driver. But because Charles is now, I think it's like 38 points ahead of Carlos, I think they've got to say Charles is the number one driver. We've got to prioritise him, and I think they need to tell them both that. Carlos won't like it.
Well, if you're going to win anything, they need to.
How far behind are they in the constructors though? So I think that's even bigger.
I think the gap closed because they had Perez retired in the Canadian Grand Prix, and then they've had problems ever since, really. So they're 56 points ahead at the moment.
In the constructors?
But, yeah.
How far ahead are they from from Mercedes?
So,
is it hundreds?
Mercedes are 70 behind Ferrari. Around 70,
okay.
Yeah. So,
what, 11 races left? Then?
11 races, we're halfway through. But if Mercedes start picking up the way they are, they'll be easily beating Ferrari, I think. Especially with their reliability. But it'll be really interesting to see.
Really. I can just see if Mercedes keep getting like third, fourth, and fifth. Have they got a second yet?
No.
Not yet. If they just keep getting them points, and the reliability of the Red Bull and the Ferrari just keeps dying on them, they can easily. They won't win drivers' championship.
Yeah.
But they could quite easily catch them.
Second.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that it's vital that George just carries on. Lewis has been inconsistent.
Lewis has got 3 podiums in his last 3 races.
I mean, inconsistent is it. He's not always qualified there. He's not always been on where George is. He's managed to do it in the race, but he needs to constantly keep doing that. I think.
Yeah.
I think he'll still there. He's only 20 points behind George at the moment, anyway. So
fair enough.
Yeah, I think George's on like 5 behind Carlos, so this is going to be. I don't think they're going to be able to get third in the drivers, George and Lewis, but they can definitely get Carlos because Carlos is just that bad luck. And
Where's Checo? Is Checo fifth then?
he's third, Checo.
Was he?
Yeah, 50 points, 57 points behind Max at the moment.
Imagine Checo wins I'd cry.
That would be.
I think I'd
That
be
would
more
be
happy
amazing,
for Checo than I was Max last year.
But,
Just because
Really?
I think everyone loves Checo.
yeah, I suppose so. He would. I mean, his Monaco win was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he fucked up his tyres because of locking up because a bird flew past his car.
When was that? Monaco.
That was in Monaco. So when he was leading, it was going really slow compared to the rest. It was because that early in the week he actually killed a bird, so he must have felt guilty, and it flew across in the race, and he had to brake, and he locked up. So
I killed a bird the other day in the car.
I've never done it yet.
I didn't run it
What?
over.
We just sat there.
No, it like flew in front of the car and hit me like square in the face on my windshield and just bounced off the car. So I assume I killed it because I was going like 45 miles an hour.
Maybe just crippled it.
Just fucking maimed. It got probably if I crippled it, it got eaten by a cat. So it's like assist.
Yeah.
I got the assist, but
Just served up dinner.
yeah. But Latifi killed a. Did you see Latifi obliterate that groundhog?
Yeah.
He sounded so upset afterwards as well.
Yeah. Grosjean's done it. He's done it. I don't know who else has done it. But
Did you see the video of Grosjean doing it? And someone edited the blood splatter all over his visor.
yeah.
I thought that was real at first. I was like, oh my god! But it had just got hoovered up, wouldn't it, really?
Well, it would now, yeah, especially with the cars now. They would just got literally hoovered up and spat out. I shouldn't laugh, but you can cut that bit actually.
No, keeping it in. Right. So, what else happened at Austria? I've got notes, but I feel like we've. Oh, what about the track limits at Austria? Were a joke.
Well, I think that it's pretty much simple. If you put a wall or gravel there, they're not going to do it. They obviously just.
But they can't see it. They can't see the line. Especially like Lewis was saying. I know Lewis. He complains a lot.
Yeah.
But he's genuinely sounded surprised. Oops. Genuinely sounded surprised that he actually did it because they can't see the lines really at all. And it's like 1 week the FIA are saying they're not being strict on it at all. So I feel like when have we ever had this season had anything about track limits?
Well, they've been saying that it's simple as if all your 4 tyres are past the white line, it's track limits. But it's impossible to do it on every corner. It's yeah, and it can be quite biased still. But
are we saying Charles got 2 track limits warnings very quickly in like the first?
Got a penalty.
But he got them very quickly in like the first 10 laps. But then for the other 60 laps, he's saying that he didn't do it again.
Yeah, there's no way.
It's like they pick and
But
choose.
it's just yeah, it just seems to be one of them tracks that it's got massive runoffs, so people don't really care, even if they can't see it. They've drove these tracks hundreds and hundreds of times, so you know where the apex is, stuff like that. It's just you like on the last corner, if you put gravel there, they're not going wide at all.
There's gravel, isn't there?
No.
It's like runoff and then gravel, isn't it? Or is it?
It's runoff and then it's grass. There was quite a funny clip about last year, Daniel Ricciardo, about if you can't do the overtake, just spit grass in the face. And there's a video of him putting his back tire on the grass and spitting like grass and pebbles all over. I think it was Charles. So that was really quite funny.
We'll talk about Daniel if you want.
Oh, well, it's going to be biased, but we'll go for it.
I want you to be as unbiased as possible.
Yeah.
Which is very hard.
It's disappointing.
Yes.
Very.
Every week, Callum comes round and says, plonks his beer on the side, keeping this ready for the shoey at the end when Daniel Ricciardo wins.
I will do a shoey this year.
We'll do one together. I'll do a shoey with you.
He will get on the podium, and I will do a shoey.
If Max and Danny get on the podium, we'll have to do it. Oh no! So I've got the rugby on the other screen, and Australia nearly scored. So, yeah, Max and Danny, or no, just if Danny gets a podium, we'll do a shoey. Go into the garden.
I mean, it's just right. There's no way you can lose talent. It's a 7-time Grand Prix winner before McLaren.
8. Oh, sorry, yeah. 4, sorry.
Yeah. This. If I'm looking at it, there's not. Daniel's performance is a factor, but you've got to look at the team as well, what they're doing. But
Lando was getting podiums every other week last year. And you can't say that Monza is anything other than a fluke.
They won on even if Lewis and Max was still in the race, they had the pace to win that week.
No,
100%. If you look at the speed traps are like massive at Monza, they was absolutely ahead of the people.
he did alright. Didn't he come like third in the sprint or second? He came second in the sprint, didn't he?
And then he came third in the sprint, and then Bottas had to drop because of grid penalty. So he dropped to the back, and then he took Max in the first corner, which was, well, that race was tender hooks for me. So I was just sat there, just
Were you
terrified.
at ours?
No, because I was out for a family meal, and I went outside to watch the start. I was like, I've never. Well, I'm not going to see that again, probably.
That was history for you.
Yeah, well, I do think he'll bounce back. I do think he will, but it's just.
Do you think he'll be there next season? Even though he's come out this week and he said he's committed, do you think they'll say, if it continues the way it is, that they'll just say, fuck it, and bring someone else in?
There's no way they can get rid of him. It's Daniel's choice.
Yeah, no, but they can come to an agreement.
Well, yeah, they can
contracts aren't really a thing anymore. They'll just pay them out.
Maybe. I think he wants to prove it, because could you imagine going into? Well, the way I look at it is, Bottas I think has 11 wins, and he was in that dominant Mercedes since 2017, so 6 years.
Yeah, but he also has Lewis Hamilton as a teammate.
Yes, that is a fair point. But when Danny Rick came in, he absolutely slapped the floor with Vettel, who just come off the back of being a 4-time world champion, like consistently. So it's like Bottas has won 11 in the most dominant car, and Danny Rick has won. Well, he's won 8 in cars that are not the best car on the grid. So he's obviously got talent, and he's obviously there. It just needs to. I don't know. I don't know if it's a McLaren thing or it's probably on both ends. Just the car doesn't suit him. And Lando's even come out this I think last week saying that the characteristics of the car that Daniel was struggling with has mainly been fixed this year, but there's more things that have come up on the car that is just impossible to control. There's a video at Austria of Lando flipping off his steering wheel because it was that hard to drive. No,
did you see? He joked. There's a screen on that thing, didn't there? He saw it. He must have seen himself on the thing and done it. But
yeah,
I think everyone loves Daniel, and everyone wants Daniel to get back to where he was. But I just can't see it, especially in the McLaren.
I know. I think the best thing you could do is to leave McLaren and join another team. I think
Where
for
would he go, though?
Vettel and I think he's perfect for Aston Martin. Do a Vettel and there's been rumours about Vettel going
Yeah,
to.
I've seen that.
If they did a swap, I think he would get a new lease of life basically, and it'd be brilliant because it's like he went to a team. Gone from one Red Bull to another team, and yeah, he struggled. He didn't struggle, but he didn't exactly do amazing. Until
He
his
got one
second
podium,
season.
didn't he?
No, not in the first season. He got two in his second.
So he got 2 podiums in 2 years
At Renault, which
at
was
Renault.
probably a sixth place team.
Were they?
Yeah, they weren't up there. There's a crazy stat about how many times he outqualified Ocon. I think it was
Was it every time?
nine. I think nearly. I think Ocon probably had 2 or something like that.
See,
Um,
first season at Renault was Hülkenberg.
Yes,
And then
it was. I think get rid of Lawrence Stroll and then whack Danny.
it's going to be
and,
quite hard to get rid of Lawrence Stroll.
Yeah. Well, just get rid of Danny. Just get rid of Lawrence. Get rid of Lance, and then we'll have a Nico and Danny Rick back.
Or keep Seb and Danny there.
Yeah.
Back to the old days.
40.
And then everyone's happy again.
Yeah.
Both coming 18th and 19th ahead of
Yeah.
Latifi. But everyone will be happy because it's vibes.
Yeah. Yeah. The best thing you can do at the moment is to join another team.
What about Alpha Tauri? Red Bull family.
I don't. Do you know what? I don't think they'll have it back.
Really?
I don't think so. Helmut Marko come out and said some things
Yeah, but
about
he says it
saying
about
he's
everyone
he's
apart from
broken.
Max. He said that Checo was rubbish, basically. It's like
Well, yeah, you can't really say.
Checo's
well,
like their 3rd most successful driver ever now.
Yeah, it is the most successful Mexican driver as well. So, but that's not really hard. There's not many Mexican drivers.
What other Mexican drivers have there been?
I can't remember the other one. I think there's
The other
that
one.
is- well, there's one that is squad podium or something like that, but I can't remember. Who it
Where's
was.
Montoya? Where's he?
Pablo Montoya?
Yeah, where's he from?
I think
South
he-
America, isn't he? I feel like he's Venezuelan.
I really don't know with him.
I couldn't tell. I'm gonna Google it. Juan Pablo, Colombia,
Colombia.
South America. So, yeah. Ricciardo.
He will be back, just when and if it will be at McLaren. But the fact there's so many people on the sidelines that somebody else would have to leave to.
Who do you think won't be there won't be in F1 next season? Latifi.
I can honestly Latifi because Guan Yu Zhou's going to be there because the Chinese Grand Prix.
Yeah. I think Albon has been that good this season. They'll keep him.
Yeah. Well, he deserves another seat. He deserves a better seat.
Does it where though?
This is where
They can't take it. He won't go to AlphaTauri.
Red Bull's always still open.
But is he still under Red Bull? Still a Red Bull driver.
Yeah, which is amazing because he's driving a Merc car.
Yeah.
I think what will happen is if Lewis retires, they will potentially get Pierre Gasly, and then Albon will go back to.
Yuki's been better than Gasly this season.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Pierre Gasly's good, but I don't rate him as much as he's not a world championship caliber driver.
Who?
Pierre.
So why would they get him in?
Why did they get Bottas in?
Bottas was good at Williams.
Yeah, but he wasn't world champion.
He was in a Williams though.
But
So
then
if
Williams
Williams were
used to be really
decent.
good.
Williams were decent.
Williams used to
That
be
was
good.
like as the decline started, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah, I mean, he would be a good second driver to Russell.
Bottas.
No.
Oh,
Um,
sorry.
yeah,
But would Pierre want that?
no. Because he was the second driver at Red Bull and it got to him, didn't it? So,
Hmm.
but there always is going to be a second driver.
I'm gonna get the grid up. F1 2022 grid.
Mick Schumacher's got to stay. They'll keep him, especially because he seems to run into like a different kind of.
Oh, you see his interviews at Austria.
Yeah,
It
this
was
is what I mean.
that's like it's like
It's like his
I say the
dad.
ghost of Michael, but
It's like his dad. I think ever since he started to score points, it's like his dad and
it's like something
like on the
switched
team
in him, hasn't
radios, and stuff like that. He's like, get Magnussen out of the way. I'm faster. But Mick was like, if you watch him last year, like his team radios, he never swore, he never did anything. Now he sees, like, I think I don't know if someone flipped a switch when he scored points. You know.
I can't see him going into Ferrari next year.
Unless Carlos just keeps.
He's just signed a new contract though, Carlos Santi.
Oh, okay.
Maybe no, he won't go to Alpha.
Alonso stated that he wants to drive next year. And I think
I really want to see Piastri in
well,
F1
that's what I'm about
somewhere.
to say. I think they've said that he's going to be in F1 next year.
He's got to. He's unbelievable.
The straight swap would be Latifi.
Yeah.
Or if a better seat came up, put him in the better seat. Like if Danny Rick decided to leave or to not race, then McLaren would pick him up.
Yeah.
K-Mag's on a 2-year deal, so he won't go.
Aston Martin potentially, because Lawrence
It's
wants to sell the team, doesn't he?
Yeah, and if he
And
sells
if he
it,
does, Lance isn't
then
keeping that
Lance
seat,
isn't,
surely.
no, not at all.
The thing is, Lance though, he was decent. He's had some good results.
Yeah, but he's always been outshined by teammates, hasn't he? Every year.
So potentially 2 seats at Aston. Potentially, that's a very far-fetched.
Yeah.
So and then Latifi, Alfa Romeo they're keeping. Haas they'll probably keep theirs.
I would love a Ricardo Vettel swap. That would be fresh start for Vettel. He's having a tough time. Fresh start for Ricardo. He's having a tough time.
Yeah.
I think it would be more suited towards the Red Bull days and stuff like that. Or, unless all cars on the grid aren't as pointy as the Red Bulls are, because they're very different.
As pointy, what do you mean?
They set it up to understeer. I can't remember if it's oversteer all the time. Well, they set it up to Max, don't they? And Max likes in a very aggressive car.
Right.
So he might have been in the Red Bull too long, and he's just I don't know.
Who? Danny.
Danny Rick was in Red Bull too long, and he's not been able to.
He's been in
adapt to the car.
other cars for as long as he was in the Red Bull now.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that right? What? So 4 year, 2 years at Renault, 2 years at McLaren. And was he at like? I can't remember the old
Toro
team.
Rosso before. He was at Toro Rosso, and he started in Red Bull in 2014 and left in 2018. So that's 4 years.
But he was at a different team as well, though. Like he was at HRT, wasn't he?
Yeah, but like
for not long.
I think it was a team like what Joe Bianchi's raced. I think he might have been. I can't.
That was Sauber. Was that Sauber?
Yeah, I can't see much change next year. Maybe between team.
So potentially 1, 2, definitely 1 Williams. Potentially Aston.
Yeah.
Potentially two at Aston, and then maybe Fernando.
Yeah, Fernando's staying, and then maybe Lewis as well. But
Maybe Daniel depends if he just go, oh, fuck it, if
yeah,
he's had enough.
Lewis and Daniel are the kind of ones that they're playing it by ear, I suppose. But I don't know. I don't know if he'd race in another category, to be honest.
Daniel.
Lewis wouldn't.
Daniel, good NASCAR probably. NASCAR or IndyCar.
Well, yeah, probably. I think.
Isn't he obsessed with NASCAR?
Yeah, he loves NASCAR.
I don't get how anyone can be obsessed. I'm obsessed with Formula One. I don't get how anyone can be obsessed with NASCAR. It's so shit.
Yeah.
It might be cool going to an event there, like
the sound and the fans.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of agree with you on that one.
No one from WTF1 they did a hot takes sort of thing. No one from F2 this year will get a seat in F1.
No. Drugovic is doing absolutely amazing.
Who does he drive for? What academy is he with?
MRT, I think it is. I don't think he's in academy. I don't think.
Oh.
I think he's kind of.
Is he Brazilian?
Yeah. Yes. He's kind of come out of the woodworks this year, and he's just absolutely smashing up the competition. And the only person who's kind of can beat him is Theo Porcher, but he's not doing that good. And then this guy called Logan Sargent, he's on a mad one.
He's the American, isn't he?
Yeah.
So if Andretti come in, they'll surely take him.
Him or Colton Herter. It's definitely going to be if Andretti come in, it's going to be a full American lineup.
Yeah. Mario Andretti also said this week when they do, or if or when they get in, he says he wants Colton Herter.
Yeah.
Because he drives for Andretti now, doesn't he?
Yes, yeah, he does. He's not very good at ovals, but when it comes to the road courses, he's absolutely insane.
He used to race with Lando as well. He was Lando's teammate back in the day in British F4 or whatever it was.
Yeah, he definitely deserves a choice. Vips has fucked it.
Yep.
Lawson's not.
I'd really like to see Lawson, but doesn't Lawson do DTM and F2 at the same time?
No, I think he did that DTM last year.
He definitely did some F2 races last year.
Can't remember. He might have done, yeah.
So do you not think Lawson or...
No, the Red Bull Academy. The Red Bull's got too much talent at the moment. They've got Dennis Hauger, who just won F3. He's beaten both of those.
Right.
And he's Red Bull driver. He's really good. There's really good people. They sign them in karting age and stuff like that, and they get them really early. And as much as people hate Helmut Marko,
child slaving.
Yeah, as much as people hate Helmut Marko, he's got a lot of talent.
He's just a Sith Lord.
Yeah, he is.
Right. Should we do predictions for France, or should we leave that until next week when we've got Dill here?
No, let's do it.
It's got to be Max, hasn't it?
Yeah.
He's going to be so pissed off after Austria.
Yeah, it's like I said to you a few months ago. I don't think there's going to be a winner other than Ferrari and Red Bull this year. Even if Merc get up there, I can't see it.
Unless we have one of the mental races again where fucking Mick Schumacher wins it, or
That'd be good.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, I mean that's a possibility. Isn't it? It's just
no one predicted that Ocon was going to win a race. No one thought Gasly was going to win a race, especially not in going back to AlphaTauri and winning in Monza.
Yeah.
Was it Monza or was it Brazil?
Monza. He did a really good. I think it was his first year at AlphaTauri. He did a really good race at Brazil.
Didn't he drag race Lewis to the line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think podium, just to be, I don't know.
Max.
I'm gonna go.
Sorry, go on. You
I'm
go.
gonna go for a wild card one.
Okay.
Perez, Leclerc, Russell.
Ooh. What, Max DNF or just?
I think it might maybe homing in a problem or something, and he's just pushing for points, or I don't know. I could be completely wrong. He could come out and just fight 30 seconds in front of people like Lewis used to do. But, I mean, I'm not expecting a great race, but
Fingers crossed.
fingers crossed, and then hoping for McLaren to get some points on the board. But they was awful in Azerbaijan, which was quite a long straight, stuff like that, and then this is just all straight basically. So I can't see why.
I think Max. I'm going safe. Max, Charles, Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos on the podium.
Yeah. You not think?
Maybe. It depends if they have issues, doesn't it? They might, yeah.
Car burst into flames again. Did you
Yeah.
see the video of that?
Yeah.
That was scary.
It's gonna be. It's not gonna be good as last year unless we get like a really good title battle. But it's been a really good year, I think, so far, halfway through the season.
There's been good races this year.
Yeah,
Silverstone was probably one of the best races I've watched.
we've had the best Monaco race we've ever had. Well, not ever. Best Monaco we've had in the last 10 years.
Best Silverstone.
Going back to Singapore.
Austria was very good.
Yeah, Bahrain was good with the battle at the front, and then the
Saudi.
upset at the end. Yeah, Saudi was amazing.
Have we had Qatar yet?
No,
Is that the end? Oh, we had Qatar this year. Or was that just for last year?
Look, we're definitely seeing. They've definitely signed like a deal with.
Who did we get instead of Russia?
They're not replacing it now.
Oh, they're not? We just have
So
like a bye week then.
yeah, so we just got 22 instead of 23.
Um,
We're not going back to Qatar this year.
We're not?
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm not losing any sleep.
I think I was about to say, I think I'd still rather have Russia than Qatar.
Yeah.
Is Russia even on the F1 game?
No, it's not.
That was just a good try at Russia on the game,
Yeah.
but it's full of war criminals now, so
Yeah.
never mind. So
we'll come back great for Belgium and then Max Verstappen land, which is going to be amazing.
yeah, next year we're gonna go to some.
We're going to go.
I think we should go to Spa or somewhere in Europe because I think it'll be cheaper than going to Silverstone, and it'll be more fun. I think.
Yeah.
Maybe even Austria, just because we love Austria and.
Yeah. If we supported like our main guy who was after was English, then Silverstone would be the way forward. We might have to go if George is up there.
Yeah.
If George is up there, I definitely want to go just to see him up there because I think he deserves a championship. I think he's going to win.
You think he'll win one?
I think he'll match Vettel.
Really?
Yeah.
What, 4 over the rest of the time, or 4 in 4 years?
Probably four over his career. I think he could do what Vettel's done.
You think?
Yeah.
How old was Seb when he won his first? 24? 23?
Yeah. What his first race or his championship?
Championship. His first race was China. How old was Vettel when he won? 24, yeah.
I'm 24 next year.
I'm 24 now. What did you just tag me in?
Yeah, I want you to include that as well.
I can't. I'll not play the sound. I'll watch it afterwards and then put the clip here. Okay. I'll watch it afterwards. So, what is your picture?
Alice has changed it. Alice has been on my Twitter.
Right. So that's 50 minutes. We'll leave it there.
Yeah.
We've done our predictions for France. We'll do some more predictions for France next week when Dylan's here. We might have to do it early Saturday because I'm going to Manchester Saturday.
Okay.
So if we do it a bit earlier, so I can get it
Yeah.
out. I'll try and get this up for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow at some point, which will be the 17th.
Sounds good.
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed us rambling.
Yeah. I think next time we'll have more of a structure.
Yes,
We'll have more of a structure.
definitely. I don't want
We'll
it to be
plan it.
too structured.
Yeah.
I still want it to be a couple of idiots talking random bollocks.
Yeah.
Which I think we'd excel at.
Yeah. That's our speciality.
Yep. Shit takes. It's just biased views.
Biased takes.
And just incoherent mumbling.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you for coming to the first Jolly Fellas podcast. As I said, it won't just be an F1 podcast. I'm going to do other sorts of podcasts with other people, but you'll be able to
do
tell.
it when Liverpool win the league. So
Shut up, man. I definitely do want to do football podcasts.
I'm not very knowledgeable.
I know. I said in the intro that I want to do a football podcast, but none of my mates really know much about football apart from FIFA. So
I know we got smashed. Well, Liverpool got smashed the other day, so 4-0.
He started watching football a month before the Premier League ended, and then cried at the Champions League final. So, yes, thank you for watching, listening. There's no video for this, really. It's just a screen. I don't know how to get this stuff onto Spotify, so it'll just be YouTube for now, and then eventually, when we do a couple more podcasts. Thank you very much. Any final words, Callum?
Daniel Rick wins in Spain.
I knew there was going to be something about. I thought you were going to say Daniel Ricciardo redemption era or something like that.
Oh yeah, he's on it. He's him. Watch out! Watch his space. Daniel Ricciardo and Mick Schumacher. They're coming.
Championship push.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, maybe not that.
Thank you very much. See you next time. I just saluted. I'll see you next time.
Yeah.